So during summer, I made a mobile game in 7 days. Week. So we're gonna do it in 1 day. Now, I already made a game in 1 hour, so I'm gonna use that as my starting point and give myself until 11 PM instead of midnight. So, let's get started. The first thing we need is a main menu, so I made some buttons in Photoshop, and I think it's pretty cool when you can see through the buttons, so I usually make them empty inside, just like I am. Oh fuck. And here you can see the buttons in action. I also added a little endgame screen that shows you how far you got and what your current high score is. Save files. I implemented it early so that we can save high scores, unlocks and other stuff we might need in the future. Now, if you remember from the last video, the score counter is kinda wonky and we should probably fix it. So I fixed it, and now you get points when passing obstacles. Yep, just like in Flapper Bird. And I also made it so the score counter pops out whenever you increase your score, because I like adding useless features. They make the game reflect my life. Oh fuck. Sound effects! I'm gonna use SFXR, which is a free sound effect generator. So I made a little score sound that plays whenever you increase your score. So let's give it a go, and nice. Wait, what? Stop. Stop. Fuck. And then I added some settings, so you can turn off the music and sound effects if you don't want to listen to them. And for all of you losers with old phones, I added a setting to lower the graphics. Obviously, I'm not one of those losers with an old phone. My phone is perfectly fine and new and good and fresh and totally not broken, and I don't know what you're talking about. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, an RPG mobile game downloaded by around 15 million people the last 6 months, which is like more people than living on planet Earth, I think. Wait. Raid Shadow Legends is one of the top 3 ranked RPGs on the Google Play Store and was just nominated as a finalist for Google Play's Best of 2019 Users' Choice Award. I don't know exactly what that means, but that sounds pretty goddamn good to me. I've honestly had a lot of fun playing this game, and here you can see my elite team consisting of the strongest champions in my arsenal, and I still have not lost a single battle with this team. Is that a dragon? Raid Shadow Legends has more than 400 champions to collect and is adding more than 16 new champions every month, so why are you just sitting there? Listen, I'll cut you a deal. The game is available for free, and that's a great price. You can complete missions and earn rewards for just learning how to play, and once you complete the missions, you unlock one of the best legendary champions in the game, the Arbiter. Nice. They also have a huge roadmap of upcoming features, which means there's a constant stream of updates full of new content. So go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. Oh, did I also mention more than 1,013 different zones? It actually... But before we go any further, time for some quick lunch. And we're back in action, baby. It is time to make some unlockable characters. First, I made a piece of Lego. I'm just kidding, it's a jet, that's a jet. It's totally a jet. Then I made a flying car, which is probably my favorite so far, it just kinda looks cool. And finally, I made a snowman, but something feels a bit off about him, so I made him thick. And there we go, there's now a playable, very thick snowman, just in time for Christmas. But before we go any further than this, let's try and export the game for my phone and see if it even works at all, because it's probably a good idea. So let's build the project, and now we wait. And it's working just fine, but there seems to be a problem with the FPS. It's running very slow, not sure if it's possible to see on this recording, but it's like maximum 20 FPS, so gonna have to do something about that later on, but as they used to say back in the day, you know, if the FPS is slow, you don't have to fix it right away. You can just fix it later or something. I don't know. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. You should still probably fix it though. But you know. Next up, we need to make an unlock system so you can unlock the new characters. But first, as all of you know, your boy needs to secure that bread, so let's put some ads in the game. I made a quick add button and you can click it to continue going if you die, and then some weird stuff started happening, I don't know, and I did some code, and just like that you can now click the add button to watch an ad and you will get invincibility and continue going. Your boy has secured the loaf. I then added some criteria for the unlock so you can see how to unlock the different characters, and if I go ahead and get a good score, you can see it shows what characters I unlocked. Pretty cool. We're also gonna add some money you can collect because duh, being poor is pretty lame, so you can now find randomly spawning coins along the map, and the further into the game you get, the more coins will spawn. Oh, and I also added a goddamn pause button, because that's the #1 request I get from you guys on my game. So, there you go, motherfuckers. Are you happy now, you There you go. Then I made it so when objects go too far off the screen, they are destroyed, which will make the game run much smoother, especially on phones. And just like that, we're done with all of the really necessary features. That means we can start working on some extra stuff, and it's only 4:30, so we have a lot more hours to go. First, let's fix the FPS issue for mobiles, but to do that, I need a new keyboard, so... And with a new keyboard in my left hand and my wiener in the right, it's time to get to work and fix this FPS issue. So I did what any developer would do when facing a problem like this. I started pressing random buttons in the export settings. Yeah, sure. What was this? I don't know, let's click it. Oh yeah, yup, and let's give it a go. Fuck, sure. Click this and that, oopsie, there we go. And it works just fine. The FPS issue has been resolved and it now runs at a very smooth 60 FPS on my phone. Good stuff. Okay, back to the game now. So first off, let's add more characters to unlock. So I tried to think of things that can fly, and I figured out I would make a helicopters because helicopters can fly and they're pretty cool. And after that, I added a banana because bananas are cool too. So yeah. And finally, with a lot of imagination, you might be able to tell this is in fact a paper plane. If you zoom out really far and then you close your eyes, so it's all black, and then you imagine a proper paper plane that actually looks like a paper plane, you might be able to see it. Or not, I don't know. And just like that, we have a lot more characters you can now unlock in the game. Now, as you might know, I'm somewhat of an epic gamer myself. And as such, there should be an epic gamer mode you can play. So first I made a button for it, and then I made it so you can select between casual and epic gamer, since most of you babies aren't epic gamers like me, so I kinda had to leave the casual option in there, you know what I'm saying? So when playing on epic gamer, the screen starts to rotate and act weird, and you have to use your elite gamer moves to maneuver around. It's pretty cool, which I know might be hard for you guys, but for a hardened veteran gamer like me, it's a very simple task. Now we only have 2.5 hours left, and one thing I want to try and add is different shapes for the obstacles. Now, adding them is simple enough, but the problem is to account for all of the impossible situations with all of the new shapes, so I'm gonna have to come back to this later if I find time for it. Then I put an option to select graphics at the very start of the game, because a lot of phones have problems with fancy post-processing effects, so now it defaults to the lowest graphical setting. And one final touch that makes any game better: explosions. So I made some quick particles, smashed my keyboard a bit, and the rocket now explodes when you lose. Now we're down to 1 hour left, so we should probably start shipping the game. So I built the game, made a cheeky little logo, set up a really professional looking page with a ton of effort, clicked some checkboxes, I don't know, and done. Now we just wait for Google to approve the app. So the app just got approved, and here you can see it on the Google Play Store. Very cool. And if we go ahead and click open, it will Open up the app. Wow, who would have thought? And yeah, everything seems to be working just fine, which is awesome. So hey, if you have an Android, you know, you should probably totally go download right now. Or I will watch ad. Let's get some bread, boys. Ooh! So download right now, or I will slap you with a sack. So there it is. There is a link to download the game in the description down below if you want to try it out for yourself. Unfortunately, it's only available for Android as of currently. I really want to get my games out for Apple as well, but the main problem is Apple makes it very hard. I would need a Mac, I also need an iPhone for testing, and I don't have any of those. And there are also a couple of other things I need to kind of look into, but I'm gonna start looking into it soon, and hopefully we can get my games onto Apple as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that, because I really want to get my games for Apple. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to slap like now, slappers, and subscribe if you liked it, and slap dislike if you didn't. Massive shout out to all of my Patreon supporters as well. You guys are all very delightful, or something, I don't know. And yeah, don't forget to drink your milk, hit the sack, and don't be whack.